need?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, thank you for your performance. Very, very nice. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very nice. And I love these pieces that you guys have chosen to do. And a lot of good varieties here, and there's a lot of opportunity for us to learn. And, my name is Bruce. I'm a retired band director, and I'm looking forward to having a few minutes with you this morning because I don't have my own band anymore. So these are my little snippets of joy to be able to work with bands again. So our job, of course, is to try to figure out if there's some things in our playing that we can do as we continue down the path that you're on, getting better and better and better and better. Hopefully we can find a couple things to consider going forward that will add to your playing. So if we could, I think I would like to just jump to Cumberland Cross. Freshest on my mind anyway. And as we talk about this piece and as we work on it a little bit, I'm going to challenge you to think about your other pieces as well. Because if we're doing this right, if we're doing this the right way, when we learn music, it's not so much about learning Cumberland Cross or not so much learning your first piece, the fanfare and fireworks. It's learning about the things that we do as musicians that we can apply to all the pieces of music that we play. And then we just tell different stories. And you guys told some really good stories. Every piece of music should tell a different story. And our audience, they're going to interpret it a little bit differently, but it should be entertaining. And you guys do that. But what we want to do is we want to learn concepts. We want to learn about the way that we make music and then apply that to everything we do. It's like copying and pasting, okay? And we want to copy and paste the good things. So let's take a bit at the beginning and then we'll chat. Okay? I'd like if we can find a spot where we're all doing that, that would be great. I'm not seeing it. So, pardon?
Yeah, the next break.
Yeah, when the trumpets come in and stuff. So maybe we'll do that in just a second here. We'll do 17. Here's what I'd like you to. I want you to think about this in a little bit different way. Right now, and maybe you're not thinking this way, but this is the way it's coming out to us in the audience. Right now, it sounds as though we're thinking of the 2 eighth notes as being sort of an island unto themselves, sort of an individual unit, sort of a separate word in a long sentence, but we're not really speaking in sentences. So physically, we got to figure out how we can get those 8 notes not to sound as though they're separate little things. Because here's it's not like this, but this is kind of what I'm hearing. Do 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 do. Do, 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 okay? And you're not really doing that because you are connecting the notes, but we're not connecting them as well as we can. So physically, we've got to figure out what are we going to do. So let's take the folks that play at the beginning one more time. And this time, I'm going to mess with you a little bit. And I'd like you to just play the first, whatever your first note is, I'd like you to just repeat that note. So you're going to play the same rhythm. So you're going to go do, 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 but we're not going to change fingers. Does that make sense? Just going to play the same note over and over again, but play the right rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's good. Now, I'd like you to think of it as if you are crescendoing on that. Okay? Think of it in terms of the notes getting, the air getting more intense with each consecutive note. So it's more. Okay, so again, on the same note again. 1, 2, 3. Nice, yeah, we're going to do that again, because I really want you to start to feel, you know, what's that feel like when I'm moving my air that way? It should be a physical effort, okay? Do it again, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good. And if we really want to break it down, what we're really doing, and we can still do better, is it's the way we push the end of each note into the next note. We're thinking through, we're thinking past each note. We're not thinking about that note, we're thinking about driving into the next note. It's an intensity thing. One more time. Same thing, same people. 1, 2, 3. Good. And of course, the reality of the deal is that it's harder and harder to do that the lower pitched your instrument is, the further back in the rows of the band. So for a tuba to do it, whoa, it's a lot of work. But we're going to be as good at doing it as you are. Okay? So you have to work harder than everybody else. Because after about 3 or 4 notes, he's going to want to go, he's going to feel like he's got to pass out. Okay? So you just have to work so hard to do that. It might mean that you have to take a breath or two that other people don't have to take. Okay? Now let's try putting the real notes in there. Okay? So this adds another level of complexity now because we have to move our fingers. But somehow, I'd like to, what we want to get is that movement of those fingers is totally independent of this air. See, before I felt as though we were going. And what we want to do is what you just did. You're waving off fingers. They're independent of each other. Try it. Those people at the beginning, playing it as written, but really focused on pushing a steady stream of air. 1, 2, and it sounds good, and it's just going to get better and better and better if you just keep reminding yourself that everything we do, because they're called wind instruments, everything we do is driven by what's going on here with that and the sense of connection. And here's the deal. If we're going to play smooth, I won't mess up his board, and this is going to be kind of our theme for today. If we're going to play smooth, because if I asked you at the beginning, what's the flavor of this, you would probably use those terms for me. You'd say it's song-like, it's smooth, it's connected. Well, if we're going to do that, then let's play really smooth. I mean, so drippy, slurpy smooth. There's no space in between the notes. And to do that, you got to work so hard. Let's get everybody involved in that except for percussion, unfortunately. Let's go over to that place. 17. Okay? And you guys have been absorbing what these guys just did, so just show me that you've been listening, all right? Here we go. Pick up the 17. 1, 2, 3. It gets a little bit more challenging when you get to that third bar and you're an alto saxophone player and you have to go dee-do, 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 dee-do. We don't want to feel a rhythmic sort of. You got to play again as if you're like your first note's a G. It's like you're playing one long G. And you're moving the fingers. That's it. But the fingers, again, don't have anything to do with the air. Nothing. Okay, let's do it again. Pick up to 17, everybody. 1, 2, work it. So there, we're going to have a little lift on it, but it's totally different. Does that make some sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not going to matter though unless you don't do it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And you have to remind each other. And you have to remind each other that if you're not feeling as though you've invested yourself in playing these wind instruments, you're not doing your job. Okay. It's like going and running a mile or two. You should feel as though you've spent something when you're heavy. Okay, let's talk about the opposite spectrum of the other thing. Let's go over to 25. Alright? Tempo, so I don't mess things up here. Perfect, here we go. 25 and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Now I'm going to make things really confusing, I suppose. So we talked about how if it's going to be smooth, we're going to work really hard to make it super, super smooth. And the way we do that is we push each note into the next one with uninterrupted air. Right? If you can always just think long whole notes and wiggle the fingers, that's the concept. Now we're playing in a different style. We're telling a different story. So if we're going to play articulate, if we're going to play with greater space, then let's really make sure we sell the difference there. Super space, massive, lifting, light, bouncy, song-like Cumberland Cross space. Okay? So let's go at 33. It almost feels as though we're in a place right now where the tempo is a little bit of a stretch. You know, it sounds like you guys don't exactly own it yet. It's like you're almost there, but I'm almost thinking if we go just for rehearsal purposes right now. Let's try it right there. Okay? At 33, just the people that have the melody. And 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, good. So what I'd like to hear, I'd like to again, let's get you more active with your air. So we're thinking this way. Okay? And it's always kind of hit when you see the flute player, it's going to pop it. All right, here we go. More active with the air. Tell me a spirited, energized air story. Here we go, those people. 1, 2, ready, air. Good. And you might even consider on the slur it when you have the 2/16 and the 8. Sometimes you can even maybe clip that last note just a little bit. So it's and what you're doing now is you're putting accents in there. You're putting tasty air accents where they're not written, and that's what we're looking for. You're telling a cool story. Okay. Let's go and find a place where others have that. Let's go. Where the trumpets come in and stuff? No, alto saxes. After 33, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars, 37, I think. 37, okay, it's 5 bars after. It's where the alto saxes come in. Enjoying that. Those people, and 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, let's go back to the other place. flutes, clarinets. 1, 2, 30, 33. Okay. Again, spunkier air, maybe a bit shorter, more space between the notes. 1, 2, ha ha ha. And if we had more time, I would do a better job of teaching here, and I would ask you guys to tell me what you're hearing. And you would say to me, saxes are playing a little bit longer than the flutes and the clarinets. And that's not uncommon because you've got a bigger instrument. Okay? But your job is to match up to this. So if they're going, ha, 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 you guys are going to have to play a little bit shorter and a little bit bouncier. Okay? You guys, let's do your thing again at 33. And then I'm going to have you guys do your thing at 37 or whatever. Just a second. 33, upper woodwinds, 2. Ready? Space. Okay, play your stuff a little bit later and make it sound just like that. 1, 2, ready, go. And you can hear it still sounds maybe a little bit longer. Da, 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 da. You gotta go. You gotta bounce on your chair. Here we go again. And 1, 2, lift and short. Okay, so that's the idea. All right. So again, here's the deal. Here's the deal. If we're gonna play smooth, you guys are oh so close to really selling it, but you got a little ways to go. And it's about pushing from note to note to note with super connection. If we're gonna play with space, and in my mind, we didn't get to it. In my mind, what really defines this space place is the dotted 8/16. Can you look forward in the music right there? It's like probably in the 40s, 50s range. If you find a dotted 8/16 note, dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 ha ha ha. Lift off that first note. Put a massive amount of space out of it, and then you're really soft. Right? Anybody want to paraphrase for us what we talked about? How do we play smooth? Yes.
We kind of make each note more connect to each other instead of thinking about just the note. We think about the entire phrase.
Whoa, that's good. That's really good. Yes, that's it. And then you just copy and paste that through all your smooth playing. What about when we want to play with more space and clarity? What do we think? What do we do? Yeah.
Play sort of like more separated, like lighter.
Yeah. And again, it's all about the air. It's just the difference in the way we use the air. In one, we're thinking a long tone. That's why we warm up on long tones, is to sense what that sounds and feels like. And then the opposite is more, okay? It's about the balance, about the energy. All right, I think I must go. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Keep listening to what